Greetings, ghouls, and welcome to a talk about horror television. Tonight we're going back to my bread and butter series of this channel, Tales from the Crypt, and we're discussing an outstandingly spooky episode, titled Only Skin Deep. This tale is unforgettable, so if you haven't watched it already, be sure to check it out. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description if you'd like to purchase the complete Tales from the Crypt DVD set. Trust me, it's worth it. Tonight's episode starts with a funky beat and some even funkier Halloween costumes. If only me and my friends had costume designers to deck us out for Halloween, because our party city asses certainly don't look as cool as these people do. It's all good though. We meet our main character, Carl. He's the one dressed as a pirate. Carl is crashing Slain Abe Lincoln's party. Carl and Abe are friends, but Abe doesn't want Carl at the party, because Carl's ex-girlfriend Linda is at the party. We learn he got handsy with her in the past, leading to their breakup, and though the bruises and cuts may be gone, the emotional wounds are nowhere near healed. Carl still wants to stay even though his friend wants him gone. He goes off to pour himself a drink. Not a moment later, Linda spots the pirate man. She wants nothing to do with him anymore.
You can't force people to love you, no matter how many times you hit them.
So, as you can see, that didn't go very well. He tells her he should have given her what she really deserved. If he had known, he would have killed her. What a piece of shit this dude is. Abe comes over to defuse the situation. Carl finally takes his abusive ass out of the room. He enters the kitchen and punches a jack-o'-lantern. The very spooky lady in a mask and a neat leather getup makes some small talk with Carl. She overheard the fighting between him and his ex-girlfriend. He asks her what she's supposed to be, to which she responds, a body bag, a synthetic shell with a corpse inside. She unzips her top to air out her sweaty bosom. Carl is attracted to the lady. She decides it's time for her to leave and invites him along. He asks for her name, and she asks if he has a preference. He tells her he likes the name Molly. She says what a coincidence. They get back to her place. It's a dilapidated, spooky, abandoned building. She likes it because it's quiet, and people leave her alone. It doesn't take long for things to get hot and heavy, and they wind up agreeing to keep their identities hidden from each other. Masks will stay on, and they will have some anonymous fun. They do the deed, and there's some red flags here. For one, her pupils overtake her eyes, turning them black as night. She yells at him to take out all of his anger on her. When he wakes up, he's alone in the room. He sees a male figure near him. It's a man we haven't seen before, and he's behaving strange as shit. His face twitches back and forth, his mouth opened like he's yelling, but no noise coming out. This spooks Carl half to death, and he gets up to find Molly. She quickly exits a room with a saw and a glass. He asks her if there's someone else here, but she's confused, so he forgets it. She tells him he's making a stand, and then he asks if she's an artist or something. And then she reminds him that he asks a lot of questions for someone who wants to remain anonymous. She gets him to drink what's in the glass. She puts down the saw and lays down next to him. He's aroused and ready to talk about how amazing their time was together. He doesn't want to remain anonymous anymore. He feels like a changed man. He has no desire to hurt anyone anymore. She wants to sleep. She's not in the mood. He shakes her, angry and psychotic. That didn't take long. She tells him he must leave first thing in the morning. She doesn't want anything more than their casual encounter. This troubles Carl. He gets up to go to the restroom. He's starting to feel drowsy as he washes his face and starts looking through the medicine cabinet at the prescriptions to find out his host's name. There's no name anywhere in her stuff. He goes out and searches for her purse. Nothing. He goes to the drawers in the kitchen. Again, nothing. He's feeling really woozy now. The room starts spinning. He can hardly stand anymore, so he inches his way back to the hallway near the bedroom. He enters the room that his honey came out of holding a saw. He starts looking around and he finds 5 faces hanging in a display. He's shook, and he goes to the bedroom to interrogate the mystery woman. He demands to know who she is. He knocks her off the bed and he cuts her hand with the saw. He tries to take her mask off, but he just gets a huge fingernail worth of flesh. It isn't a mask, it's her real face. She tells him he must have the slowest metabolism in the whole world. She lowers the saw down to his face and she takes what is hers, a beautiful, fresh face for her collection. We even get to see it put on display. Spectacular. That's one way to wear a guy out, says the Crypt Keeper. What did you all think of this one? I friggin' adored it. The episode is probably my top 10 all-time favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes, so I'm rating it an easy 10 out of 10 for the series. The first time watching this, you really don't know what to expect, and even if you've seen this one 50 times, it's just as enjoyable to watch. We never learn much about the woman with the spooky face that looks like a mask. I never realized that during the sex scene there's some unexplainable otherworldly stuff happening, like her eyeballs wonking out, and even the candle flame starts acting strange. Perhaps she's possessed by the devil, an alien, some type of monster. We'll never really know for sure, I guess, but she sure is spooky as all hell. Leave me a comment and let me know your take on her. I'd like to thank my patrons for making this video possible. Right now, this channel is entirely funded by small dollar donations from viewers like you, and I couldn't do it without you guys. If you'd like to help out, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description of this video, and I'd endlessly appreciate it. All likes, comments, and subscriptions help the channel reach a wider audience, and that would help very much as well. If you have any Tales from the Crypt episode recommendations, I'd love it if you left them down in the comments, as I'd love to cover them. Additionally, I just lowered all of my art prices over on my eBay shop, so if you're interested in some of my artwork, go check that out too. I'd love it if you connected with me on Instagram. Send me a message, tell me you've watched the channel, it'll blow my mind. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in, it's always a pleasure, and I'll be back next Saturday for another talk about horror television. Be well and stay spooky.